The giant auditorium of Ireland's Got Talent glows in warm gold as the cameras begin to move, capturing every face in the crowd. People whisper among themselves, wondering who will be the next big surprise. Suddenly, the tall doors at the side of the stage open, and a small, thin boy steps out. His name is Mateo de la Cruz, a 14-year-old poor Filipino kid from Cebu City, and his entire body trembles as he walks toward the center of the stage. His oversized faded shirt hangs loosely on his shoulders, his jeans are worn out at the knees, and his shoes, clearly secondhand, are cracked around the edges. One shoe even squeaks slightly with each nervous step, and a few audience members notice. Some whisper, "He looks so scared," while others lean forward, curious about the little boy from so far away. Mateo reaches the microphone stand, and the bright lights nearly blind him. He squints slightly, blinking hard, trying to look confident but failing to hide the fear written on his young face. He swallows hard, gripping the microphone with both hands as if it's the only thing keeping him steady. Judge Aisling O'Connor, known for her sensitive heart, immediately notices his trembling fingers and the exhaustion in his eyes. She leans forward, a gentle smile on her lips, and speaks with a softness that breaks through the noise of Mateo's fear. "Hey, sweetheart, are you all right?" she asks, her voice carrying warmth. Mateo nods quickly, but his voice comes out cracked. "Yes, ma'am, I'm just very nervous." His English is accented, humble, and fragile. The judges exchange glances. Judge Patrick Doyle tilts his head slightly, noticing how thin the boy looks. "What made you come all the way here?" he asks with genuine curiosity. It is clear from his tone that he already senses there's a story behind this child. Mateo lowers his eyes for a moment, as if replaying painful memories. The silence is heavy. I come from a very poor area in Cebu," he finally says. "I sing on the streets to help my mother buy food. She believes I can be something, so I'm here. She saved for years so I could travel." His voice cracks mid-sentence, and he sniffles quietly, trying to stay strong. The audience reacts instantly. Some gasp, some cover their mouths, and some already wipe tears from their eyes. The camera zooms in on Aisling as her eyes turn glassy, reflecting real pain and empathy. Patrick bites his lip, blinking rapidly to keep his own tears from spilling. Backstage, the host whispers softly, "This boy, he's already breaking hearts." The producers exchange looks, sensing something extraordinary is about to happen. On stage, Mateo tries to breathe normally, but his chest rises and falls too fast. He wipes his palms on his pants, then gently adjusts the microphone height because it is too tall for him. The crowd watches with complete silence, no one wanting to distract him. Mateo closes his eyes, hands wrapped tightly around the mic. The entire auditorium seems to freeze. Even the judges lean forward unconsciously, as if afraid that the slightest movement will shatter his fragile courage. And with one last breath, full of fear, full of hope, full of everything a poor boy carries in his heart, he prepares to sing. The moment the guitar intro of Hotel California begins, the air inside the Ireland's Got Talent auditorium shifts. It grows quiet, too quiet. The audience senses something fragile, something rare, about to break open. Mateo stands perfectly still, his small frame shaking, but the moment he opens his mouth, everything changes. A deep, soulful voice pours out, so smooth yet filled with pain that it sends an instant shock through the entire hall. People who were whispering earlier freeze mid-breath. A woman in the third row puts her hand over her heart. A man beside her mutters under his breath, "No way, that voice came from him." The judges' table reacts almost instantly. Patrick Doyle sits up so fast that his chair squeaks loudly across the floor. His eyes stretch wide as if he's witnessing a miracle. He leans toward Aisling and whispers, though the microphone still catches it, "Aisling, are you hearing this? This kid's voice, this is unreal." Aisling isn't even able to respond right away. She is staring at Mateo, her lips trembling, her breath caught in her throat. Tears gather slowly in her eyes, just the sound of the first verse already breaking something inside her. As Mateo continues singing, his voice grows stronger but still carries the weight of a life full of struggles, late night singing on streets, hunger, fear, and dreams bigger than his world. He closes his eyes, gripping the microphone with both hands as if pulling memories from deep within. Every note vibrates with honesty. His voice rises, dips, cracks in the most beautiful ways, and the audience begins to stand, row by row, unable to contain the emotion flooding the room. Judge Ronan Kelly suddenly stands up, pushing his chair back with a loud scrape. His eyes are wide, his jaw hanging open. He slams his palm onto the judge's table, not out of anger but pure shock and excitement. "This is insane," he shouts, forgetting that he is a judge and not just a fan. "This kid is singing like he's lived 100 years. The audience erupts in cheers at his outburst, making Mateo open his eyes briefly in surprise before diving back into the music. As Mateo hits the chorus, "Welcome to the Hotel California," his voice cracks slightly, but the crack holds so much pain and truth that it hits the judges directly in the chest. Aisling finally breaks. A tear slips down her cheek, then another, and she doesn't bother to wipe them away. The camera zooms in on her face, capturing every emotion. Patrick's eyes shine, and he presses his fist to his mouth, overwhelmed. Behind the stage, the host watches with wide, watery eyes and whispers to the crew, "This boy, he's not just singing. He's surviving on stage." The sound engineers glance at each other, amazed by the natural richness of Mateo's voice. No autotune, no special effects, nothing but pure, raw talent. When Mateo reaches the final stretch of the song, he holds a long note that sends goosebumps across the entire auditorium. People in the crowd cry openly. Some hold their hands toward the stage as if wanting to protect him. Others clap even while tears fall from their eyes. The moment he finishes, the last note echoing like a prayer, the entire hall explodes. People jump to their feet, screaming, clapping, crying, cheering. The judges rise instantly. Aisling wipes her tears, Patrick shakes his head in disbelief, and Ronan is already on top of his chair, shouting over the chaos. And in the middle of it all stands Mateo, breathing hard, chest rising fast, his eyes wide with confusion, as if he still cannot believe what his voice has done to thousands of hearts. Mateo stands frozen on the Ireland's Got Talent stage, overwhelmed by the roaring crowd. The applause is so loud that it feels like waves crashing over him again and again. He clutches the microphone tightly, trembling from head to toe. He doesn't understand why so many people are crying or why the judges are standing. He only knows that something big, something life-changing, is happening around him. His chest rises and falls quickly, and he tries to blink back tears but fails almost instantly. One escapes, then another, until his small face is streaked with raw emotion. Judge Patrick Doyle is the first to step forward from the judges' table. He wipes the corner of his eye with the back of his hand, shaking his head as if trying to make sense of what he just witnessed. "Mateo," he says, voice shaking, "you came here as a poor boy from Cebu with nothing but a dream, and you just gave this entire country one of the most powerful performances we have ever heard." His voice cracks on the last word, and he presses a hand against his chest, genuinely moved. The crowd cheers even louder. Aisling O'Connor can't hold her tears anymore. She leans forward with her head down, shoulders shaking as she wipes her eyes again and again. When she finally looks up at Mateo, her face is red and wet with tears. "Sweetheart, you touched something deep inside all of us," she says, barely able to speak without her voice breaking. "You sang like every word came from pain and hope at the same time. You made us feel your life." The camera captures her trembling lips, her watery eyes, and the way she keeps inhaling sharply to control herself. But she can't. Ronan Kelly, still standing behind his chair, looks like he's on the verge of shouting again. His entire face is lit with excitement, his hands gripping the back of the chair tightly. "Ireland will never forget you," he shouts, his voice echoing across the hall. "Never." The audience begins chanting now, louder and louder, rhythmically filling the arena. "Golden buzzer, golden buzzer, golden buzzer." Mateo's heart pounds in his chest. His hands shake so hard that he almost drops the microphone. He places a hand over his mouth, overwhelmed. He is crying openly now, crying like a child who has finally been seen after years of being invisible. He tries to breathe but each breath comes out broken. Aisling looks at the other judges. They nod. No words needed. She pushes her chair back, stands slowly, and places her trembling hands on the table. Her chest rises as she takes in a deep breath filled with emotion. She looks at Mateo, then at the glowing golden button in front of her. Her eyes break into fresh tears. She slams her hand down on the golden buzzer. The entire auditorium erupts. A powerful explosion of gold confetti blasts from the ceiling, raining down like a miracle storm. Matteo gasps loudly, dropping to his knees as golden paper pieces fall over his head, his shoulders, his trembling hands. His small body shakes as he cries harder, tears of disbelief, relief, and joy all mixed in one. Aisling quickly runs onto the stage, her heels clicking against the platform. She kneels beside him and wraps her arms around his shaking shoulders, pulling him into a warm embrace. "You deserve this, sweetheart," she whispers through tears. "You deserve the world." The confetti keeps falling. The crowd keeps cheering. The judges stand united, clapping and crying. The host rushes out, smiling through tears, shouting, "Matteo, you're going to the live shows." Matteo cannot speak. He buries his face in his hands, overwhelmed. For the first time in his life, the poor boy from Cebu feels like he belongs somewhere, and that somewhere is the world's biggest stage bathed in gold.